A major international story developing overnight as India launched deadly airstrikes in Pakistan and Pakistan-controlled Kashmir, killing dozens of people. India says those attacks are retaliation for a deadly terror attack last month that killed Indian tourists. But in response, Pakistan is now calling the airstrikes an act of war. Correspondent Libby Dean is live at the White House with the very latest. Libby, there is a lot of concern about a potential nuclear attack.
Nichole, that's a major concern, and there's a lot of history here, but this is the latest escalation between India and Pakistan. Tuesday, India struck multiple targets in Pakistan and Pakistan-controlled parts of that disputed Kashmir region. Now, the strikes were retaliation for that deadly terror attack last month at a resort in India-administered Kashmir. Pakistan says more than 24 people were killed in Tuesday's strikes, and leaders there have vowed revenge. Both countries armed with nuclear weapons and that laundry list of grievances and history towards each other. Now, President Trump reacting Tuesday.
They've been fighting for a long time. You know, they've been fighting for many, many decades and centuries, actually, if you really think about it. No, I just hope it ends very quickly.
President Trump's Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, posting this on X, echoing the president's remarks there, saying he hopes for a quick end to this conflict, adding he is engaging and speaking with leadership in both India and Pakistan following these attacks. Now, but Pakistan is calling this a, quote, act of war and showing no signs of de-escalation, despite U.S. leaders, including President Trump and Secretary of State Marco Rubio, urging a quick end here after what happened yesterday, Nichole.
Yeah, so right now, no signs of de-escalation. The vice president, he was at an event there in D.C. this morning, didn't address this India-Pakistan conflict, but he did discuss the war between Russia and Ukraine. What was he saying?
Nichole, the vice president was speaking at the Munich leaders meeting in D.C. this morning. The vice president touched on a number of subjects during these remarks, but some of his more pointed comments were focused on that war in Ukraine, and he touched on how these negotiations are going between the U.S., Russia, and Ukraine. Let's listen to what the vice president had to say.
So I wouldn't say that the Russians are uninterested in bringing this thing to a resolution. What I would say is right now, the Russians are asking for a certain set of requirements, a certain set of concessions in order to end the conflict. We think they're asking for too much.
In hopes of speeding up the timeline here for a ceasefire deal, the vice president went on during these remarks to suggest it's time for a face-to-face meeting between the Russians and the Ukrainians. That hasn't happened just yet, but this after U.S. leaders have met with both sides and negotiations really seem to be at a standstill here. This is certainly something that the White House press secretary is going to be asked during her briefing coming at 1 p.m. this afternoon, Nichole.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, Libby Dean live there in D.C. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.